Alrighty, and welcome back to Let's Get At It. Today I'm here with Doron Pakravan, the other co-founder of RECO. If you listen to episode 1 with Nolan Weiss, this is his counterpart, the Alex Stern to my Drew Ruckham, I guess, in that sense. But Doron is a little bit different than Nolan. He's less boots on the ground, and he's also not on the East Coast. He's on the West. He's also in law school right now at Pepperdine, I believe. Doron, thank you so much for joining. How have you been?
Good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, everything is good. I can't complain, as you could tell from, it being nice outside in February. I'm in Los Angeles, so it's good being on the other side of the other side of the country.
Yeah, I can hear you there. You got to go south in these moments of February and January.
Yeah, I'm actually coming to New York. I'm going to Charleston Thursday, then I'm coming to New York Sunday night, just for about 16 hours.
Wow. In and out.
In and out. Yeah, we're really grateful for this. I'm really excited for this. Actually, Garrett Wilson got a sauna from us, so I'm going down to his house, going to help with installation. Just pop in, pop right out. I'm looking forward to it. It works because I'm in Charleston for a different event, and then it's, I guess, right there. It's also one of my best friend's birthday the same night. Maybe we'll get dinner, but yeah, it's good. I'm really looking forward to Garrett Wilson. That was like a huge thing for us. That was exciting.
What's that process like? Somebody like Garrett Wilson, how's he hearing about it? And then the installation process. I'm assuming the installation's like a sauna of some sort, but then you get to have a relationship with a guy who's, at the top of his sport on the biggest stage in the entire world.
Yeah. So it's pretty unique. Okay, so I've been on the agency side I was working on the agency side for about 5 years. So ever since I was a freshman in college. And then I quit, during law school, just because things got a little too hectic. Growing up, I wanted to be a sports agent. At Michigan, I studied sport management. I was working at the agency for a long time. Being on that side, I learned to understand their perspective and see what they're looking for, what they want to accomplish. Because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get deals for the players, etc. I was also working at a boutique agency, and what they did really well was they were able to handle every single little need of the athletes. So I was doing very obscure things like dealing with, cribs for the players, grandmas, refrigerators, things like that, just like random things. But it taught me a lot that if there's something that you don't think you can get it done, chances are you could probably get it done. That was a great lesson because I saw it happen with my own eyes. You'd be surprised how many times you're on the phone with, a corporation or something, and you're thinking oh, they're a corporation, they have these policies, I'm screwed, when it's no, if you can make it work. But with that being said, being on that side, when we started this company, a lot of agencies would reach out to us. And in the beginning, it was always just give us free stuff. And in the beginning, we were giving free stuff, and the benefit to it was whenever we'd give free stuff directly to an athlete, because then we'd just get connected with their athletic trainer, and then from there, we'd work on supplying the program. But then with the agencies, it didn't really make sense because obviously the agents, just understandably so, they would just want, their players to be happy. So if they can just get their player a free anything and the player just has to post a picture, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I was learning that wasn't that effective for us. So what I started to do was anytime these agents would call, I would explain the situation of look, I was on your side. I understand what you're looking for. I want to build a relationship with you guys. Yeah, I want to build a relationship with you guys. Our products, my goal isn't for your athletes to market our products. My goal is for our products to help your athletes, right? I get it. In the facility, you have some stuff that's great. Your athletes have a good influence. My goal is to be able to our leg compression, it has more chambers. There's more customization. Our products have different varieties, have different accommodations that even though we're affordable, they all have, niche advantages that have helped me with my injuries. And, I want to help them. What I was able to do was just kind of explain look, I know what you're looking for. I think we can make something work. And then also with top tier guys, they don't like being at the facility so much, right? So they want to be home, and, they have the funds to build out, their dream recovery space in their homes. And we just want to make that work for them. And, what we can do is we supply A to Z, everything from cold plunges, massage guns, saunas, cupping, leg compression, rollers. And then we've even expanded into these really high ticket items like hyperbaric chambers, red light beds, and even these new hydrogen tanks that I'm really excited for. Those are going to be releasing soon. That's, blessing. I can't wait. But it's kind of just like, I think the best way is like, all these agents are reaching out to us and like kind of expecting free stuff and NIL and things like that. When it's like I'm able to kind of connect with them and be like, I know what you're looking for, and I know what you guys are working with and what you're dealing with. And also the guys you worked with, at Excel were kind of just great guys. They helped us. They're easy to work with. They made it simple. We have a good relationship with them. They were calling us for another player on the Buccaneers recently, but that didn't work out just because of timing. And then on top of that, we like to give back. So it's like, if they have gifting, then we'll help out with some of their products because their players like getting products like ours. They do gifting for their athletes, and so yeah, it's not just about the one sale. It's about kind of just like building and growing because it's like they like having our stuff, and they have the access to build out whatever they're looking for, and we want to help them do that, and we provide the quality they're looking for, and so yeah, it's just about kind of connecting and building out that relationship.
Proof's in the pudding is what it sounds like. And in episode 7, we talked about this ability in sales, not just to sell it and have some pitch slap or just to try and get your product marketed, but to actually provide the value of why it's there, but also doing so through a relationship. For you being on the agency side, it's so nice to be able to have the ability to say, look, I know where you're coming from here. It's not like I'm new to the industry here. I know what you're looking for. I'm going to provide that for you. And having that level of certainty entering a meeting, talking to bigwigs in the sports facilities, in the sports industry, that's a big deal. And so that's probably why you guys have been able to really get connected and honestly keep that show rolling. Rico's got a product that speaks for itself.
Thank you. We've kind of it's taken a while, but I like to believe that we have the credibility, through the universities of like, Michigan and Cincinnati, and just to name a few of like we it allows the agents to trust us and kind of, you know, because these athletes, they're able to get from any company in the world, for free, for paid, for any there's no barrier to what they're looking for. So when they're coming to us, it's like, I'm grateful that we've built what we've built so that um, you know, it worked out that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a question here because you're not just boots on the ground like Nolan is, where he's, in the weeds. You see the videos on Instagram of him doing the packaging and sending them out.
Yeah.
Last train to London. Unreal music there. He's super repetitive in that, rightfully so. ELO slaps. But I want to hear about how you're able to balance law school because I know you want to be a sports agent and also be able to take that expertise and knowledge. That was my path. Doing that and being a co-founder. For me, it was one or the other, but for you right now, you're able to do both. What's that like?
Yeah. During 1L, it was really stressful. It was very, very stressful. I'm a very calm guy. I've always just been able to kind of get by school, just figure it out, like not really pay much attention and just like kind of get it handled. Law school is not like that at all. But also like I don't want to be a sports agent anymore just because I just love, having the business, and like this has just been great, and like maybe it's a path I can kind of invest in down the line, something like that, but that's not kind of in the plans. The point of the law degree was kind of just to build something. It really helps with leverage in business, and I never want to be a lawyer. I never want to be a sports agent, never anything like that. Uh, it just really helps, you know, the knowledge is important. Like this is the first time in school where I've genuinely learned. And, like, it comes with a lot of stress, but you're learning a lot of skills, you're reading all these cases, you're understanding situations, you start thinking differently, you start applying different, reasoning methods, you start seeing things differently, you start, like, understanding what's what, and you're less fearful, like, because I can speak the language. So it's not like I'm going into a room empty-handed. Like, 2 guys I look up to, not to, get political at all or anything, just Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner aren't politicians, right? They're just successful. Granted, I think Kushner, his family had money, and he kind of, like, built on that and excelled on that, but they went from, being businessmen and dominating their industries and dominating real estate to, negotiating terrorist deals, negotiating with Hamas, negotiating with Iran, and like having an influence in that manner. And look, whether or not you think that's like right for them to be in that position, I don't want to get into it, but just to be able to go from business to, such a powerful position, like they both have law degrees. They're both able to kind of leverage their knowledge, their skill. It's very interesting for me because like that's something that I could, I'd want to find that I'd be interested in one day. Not, working a political job, but just being a political asset. That's pretty interesting, path to take down. Never thought of that until I kinda got into law school and kinda, started learning more. my dream, obviously, I love entrepreneurship. I love growing the business. I love working with Nolan. I love like seeing something that we built come to fruition and like seeing it make a difference. That's the coolest thing ever. But yeah, last year was brutal. First year of law school, everyone says it's really bad. I didn't understand how bad it actually was, and it just got worse. First semester was just like standard bad, I'm like trying to balance the two. Nolan held it down like he's a boss. To tell you the truth, if it wasn't for him, it would be he's the best like I can't even put into words what kind of difference he's made. The little things, he's so detail oriented, which I didn't expect at all. I actually didn't think so. And then like he just doesn't miss little things. He's sharp. He was on top of like, what I was doing. He was like understanding when I was like dealing with shit. Because first year of law school, the whole point is they just try to make it so that you don't have time for anything else. That's the biggest thing. And then the issue with Pepperdine is I live about an hour away. So I'm in the car an hour each way. And then second semester, right? Second semester, I don't know if you remember the California fires,
Yeah,
but
right there in
they
Malibu.
yes. So my path to school, it became 2.5 hours each way. Imagine being in the car 5 hours a day for 4 days. And then a nice hour of each of those rides, there's no service because it was in the canyons and like all this nonsense. And then on top of that, like February was a tough month. I had to drive, had law school, obviously, I had a huge paper to do. Business was a little turbulent. We had a cease and desist from High Price, which we handled. Everything worked out, but just that's a scary situation.
That's how
My
you know
house
you're
got
in the ozone, though.
yeah, yeah, no, I was excited. I was like, okay, I'm glad they noticed us. I'm glad, we have a presence.
Ruffling some feathers is a good thing.
Yeah, my house got robbed. Like, wasn't like I was like sick, like, and like I needed sleep and I needed to take care of myself, but it's hard to sleep when your house just got robbed. Like it's not the easiest thing. So you're kind of just thinking about all these different things. But with all that being said, it was a tough time. And like law school made it tough. Like Nolan held it down. And then that was February. Right now we're in, 1 year later, much better place. Things are thriving. But even just like 2 months after that, like things just picked up.
Yeah.
And it's just like cool, I believe in him, he believes in me, we trust each other. Like the way he works is he's just like his mind keeps going, he's sharp with ideas. He's able to handle multiple things. He's like takes risks. Yeah, I don't know. It's great working with him.
The full package.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it makes a huge difference. And like a lot of times I'll like check because it's funny because like we became friends through the frat. So when you're in the frat, you're not like how this is. You're not like seeing like someone's when they're so sharp or when they're or how they operate or things like that. And then
Opposite,
we get
actually.
huh
It's the opposite. You're seeing how dumb they are.
exactly. But like I'm not. He was never dumb or anything. But like, and then we get into business together, and he is just sharp. Like he's on top of me with certain things. He's the best, honestly, co-founder I could have, and I'm excited to grow this with him. And it's just like we've built a relationship that it's like we understand how each other work, and so I believe that we'll even continue into other ventures down the line. And like another thing, I have a really close relationship with my friends from home, and we all grew up together, same middle school, elementary school, whatever. And it's like he kind of like has like entered that circle for me. So it's like it's not even just like we're just business partners, but it's just like like we're like best friends too. So we're kind of just it's exciting working together and like we both have the same goals. It's easy to talk to each other when we have like issues or things that we need to like fix or work on or like things going on. And so yeah.
It's remarkable because you're just answering questions that I have. Because with Nolan and having a co-founder, the fundamental foundation that you hear from everybody that has a successful or like scar tissue from a bad co-founder relationship, it's this misalignment on goals and priorities and the inability to understand that I have to take it upon myself in order to do the best for the team. You were a basketball player, and so you know the deal. It doesn't matter how many points or rebounds you get. It's a matter of does your team win or do they not? Because if you go 20 and 10 and your team loses by 10, who cares? It's really cool to hear that you're able to do something that you want to pursue in law school, but then no one's able to say, hey, I'll pick up the slack. I know that this is the deal. You and I are going in on this together. Trust me, ride the coattails for now, and then you're also going to have the connection piece, which you've already been able to do. It's this ham and egg that you guys are able to put together, which is why you guys are where you at today.
Yeah, and to speak to him, if you play basketball with him, He does not care about points. He does not care about any of that stuff. He will just come out. He's not that tall, but he's got long arms. He wants to guard the biggest guy. He wants to guard the best player. He wants to just put effort, and like you see like his effort just manifests into points, into success, and like that's how he is in business. And so you just like, I'm fucking going all in, like let's figure this out. And it's just like hard work. Eventually it's gonna pay off. And like I'm telling you, you don't understand. Last year was rough. Like it was rough. And a lot of co-founders, especially in a point where their business is not doing the best, would not ride it out with their partner. I can guarantee you. And like not even just not ride it out, but handle it maturely. You see a lot like growing up, right? I'm half Persian, half Israeli. So a lot of my family, both sides, just came here and just like started businesses or like started selling or just started random things. And like you hear a lot of stories in the communities of like, one co-founder screws over the next guy, or this guy lies to the next guy. You hear it all the time, even amongst brothers, sisters, cousins, everything. And then it's just like him and I in the darkest time, like we were able to kind of just like work it out, and like, he was like patient, like kind of just made it work. Can't really ask for much more.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to have, and it's the number one thing you can actually have if you want to pursue greatness in this regard. It's got to be trust and it's got to be respectful.
Yeah.
Those are the pillars of every single successful foundation. So that brings me up. You bring up this term manifesting. Nolan talked about this a lot. He thinks about it from a very practical, analytical, methodical way, where he's like, you write down your goals and your subconscious will reverse engineer its way to achieve what you just wrote down. That sounds like the type of guy that you just displayed there with how he goes out to the basketball court and he's like, I'm just going to go out there, hustle my balls off until we win this game. I'm curious what governs your soul.
Oh yeah, I'm like big Jew. I put tefillin every day. I pray. I'm trying to go to temple more on Saturdays. I like started becoming more kosher slowly. So when I was a kid, like my family's always been religious. Like my dad's been putting on tefillin every day. My mom's side, they're Israeli. Like my grandpa's like Shomer Shabbat. My uncle on that side is Orthodox. But my school was reform. Like I grew up like pretty in the middle of reform, conservative kind of. And then like growing up, I thought religion was like BS. Honestly, I didn't really care much for it. I thought like my parents just wanted me to do it. Going to temple. I didn't like it. I didn't like the holidays. And then slowly, I just started maturing, and like I just started realizing like what I have, and like kind of how great life is, and like you know I got in a crazy car accident, and like, you kind of, your perspective starts to shift. Not that that made me believe in God or something, but like when you have moments like that where it's like, it's insane, I'm here, you're like, okay, it's pretty cool. Also, I just started maturing, growing. And then when October 7th started happened, I just, I started putting tefillin every day. And like growing up, I never liked putting tefillin. Like my grandpa told me to do it every day. My dad told me to do it every day. Everyone told me to do it. And I never liked doing it. Then I started doing it, and like it just like I really enjoyed it. I made Nolan order it. He ordered it. He actually just got it. But I'm like, I just really believe that God just like has my back. I'm really grateful for what I have. And I started to change the way I pray. Like everyone kind of prays, like ask God for this, ask God for that. He'll give you whatever you want. But the way I kind of see it is like I don't I don't think that there isn't free will at all. Like I think there's free will, but I think that everything kind of just like is planned to some degree. I think like whoever you're gonna marry might be a little kind of set. Certain things like are just kind of set, and I think it's important just to like be grateful for what you have, and like once you acknowledge how grateful you are for what you have, and like what you have around you, and how many well, cool things. It's not like, hey God, I'm asking you for this. It's like, hey God, thank you for this. And then like, you just keep working, you just keep doing your thing, you keep like kind of going down your path, keep continuing to be grateful, and like it just multiplies and it slowly just grows. Yeah, it's important for me to like, maintain Jewish traditions growing up. Like, my family, my wife, like definitely gonna be Jewish. It's gonna be exciting, Shabbat every Friday. It's important seeing the family. But yeah, that's like the biggest thing I've learned is just like, when you're praying to God, just like be grateful. Kind of don't ask for things. There are moments where like times get tough and you might ask for an answer, you might ask for help, you might ask for this, you might ask for that, and that's fine. I'm not saying obviously pray however you like, but I think it's important just like the point isn't to pray when things get bad or pray because you want things. It's to pray to like appreciate things and then just, build your relationship and allow things to kind of just naturally take their course. And if you believe in God and kind of believe in, what's going on, then it's just like you're just going to be happy with kind of what unfolds.
Well, if you pray with the mindset of, I want this, I want that, you're taking in a scarcity way of thinking where I don't
Yeah.
have things versus
Yeah. Yeah.
the gratitude piece is abundant. I mean, the spectrum between scarcity and abundance, it's not necessarily, there's really no in between. It's either you're scarce or you're abundant. And the ability to be grateful, that means that everything that you have, you are destined towards, that God is going to give you. And
Yeah.
the interesting to hear that as you matured, your religion also linearly increased. So there's like this sense of understanding that an infinite higher power exists. These are the customs that I've been grown up to be around. All these events are aligning up as I go through my early 20s. And now, I mean, I remember you and I, the first time we ever met was at
Yeah.
Purim. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was really going through this period of, look, I'm a Jew. I love the ability to have a Shabbat, and now I don't celebrate it by not doing any. I don't. I could drive a car or I can turn on a TV, but I don't go on social media. I limit work to as much as possible. Friday nights are dinner. There's this difference between religion and spirituality. They can go hand in hand. Where when you get to a point where you start to believe in God and you find a way to harness that through religion, magic happens. Really
Yeah.
cool that you've been able to harness the both of those.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm grateful for it. Like, one thing I want to get better at, no one's on me, is just writing things down because I think that has power. And like, I've grown up like with my friends, we've always been into, just like becoming successful and like, kind of manifesting and working on it. Like they write it down. I need to get better at writing it down.
You
But
gotta write it down. I got one
yeah,
of these next to my bed. This is an empty one. I would give this to you if we were together right now.
I
Every
appreciate it.
single morning, every single night, you're writing stuff down because it's crazy the way your brain can organize stuff when you're able to put it onto paper. And not only do you just organize it, you put it out there. It's not just in your brain anymore. If it's guilt that you have, write it. If it's pride that you have, write it. Anything else in between, write it. Who you, why aren't you sharing this? Get off of this device and start putting a pen to paper. I mean, this is page 1100 for me pretty much in my notebooks. And I love to write stuff down. It manifests itself. It organizes itself. I really
Yeah.
encourage you to do that too.
Yeah, it's something I'm working on, but yes, yeah, no, I just as I've matured, as I've grown older, like just become more religious and like become more grateful and just slowly as like things just start to unfold, I like it's good. It's good just having that backbone belief of like, okay, this happened, like it's fine. God has me, you know?
Yeah. Faith isn't a beautiful thing. I think sports are a really easy way to kind of verbalize this and to put it out there. But like, you never really know if something's good or bad unless you label it as such.
Yeah,
If you want to golf and you hit a bad shot, who's to say your next one is not the reason why you have a certain outcome? Our results are not destined by what we think they are. It's by what he thinks they are.
yeah,
So
yeah.
believe in that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's like with okay, one thing bad happened, okay, like, it's fine. And also like how someone was telling me like in that car accident, right? It was a crazy one. They had a gun in the car. They were drunk. It was a whole thing, right? And they smashed my car. They totaled my car. I come out, no scratches. Everything's fine. I was talking to someone, and they're like, "Yeah, God entered His judgment for you." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you should be grateful." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's okay. So you lost your car. Like, he's like, "Would you rather something actually bad happen?" And I was like, "I mean, I guess you're right. Like, I'm fine." And he's like, "Yeah, okay. So you're good. That's it."
I mean, I know you told me about the time you exploded your knee pretty much.
Yeah.
And I had a moment literally like kind of similar right after where I thought it was over type of deal. Like
Oh, I remember this actually, yeah.
cracks, bumps, like ripping, feeling it. But you now are an advocate and a seller of recovery material. Like think about the expertise and the empathy that you can give to your clients through going through something like this. Sure, a negative occurred, turns into an overwhelming positive now moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. I say that all the time. Like, I've learned a lot in the physical therapy process with the like, just in the rehab process, in the surgery process. I understand the anatomy better. It like yeah, it sucked, it sucked for like 2 weeks, but like it's led to so much greater things and so much more knowledge that I'm almost great. Like, I don't even know. I might be grateful for it.
You
I don't know.
definitely you
I'm
definitely
just
are
definitely
grateful
not
for
mad
it.
about it. But it was like it was just like it's cool because the moment it happened, I'm like, oh shit, like I knew this is bad. And like when I got surgery, it was tough. But then, it's like it's led to so much that it's like I can understand why it was in the plan. You know?
Yeah, you say plan, and a plan does not mean I'm only gonna believe in the positive, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
ignore the negative. You did believe in it. The same way that the best thing, you find $10,000 on the road versus, you get $10,000 stolen from you. Both you believe happen for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, and I've like found money on the floor multiple times, weird amount of times, like $100 bills. It's just like, yeah, those things kind of just happen sometimes, and so yeah, yeah,
What
it's
else are you supposed to do besides just roll with it? And honestly, it takes away a lot of mental energy from me. I don't need to worry about things knowing that God has me. And
it
that's
helps
a
a
very
lot.
spiritual moment. But when you're founding a business, Alec and I right now are going through a time where we got 8,500 users and 15 businesses on the platform. Imagine Uber trying to function with 15 drivers and 8,000 riders. They fail.
Yeah,
So it's been really interesting to go through that, but I have so much faith, so much gratitude that we have 8,500 users that are ready to come onto the platform and that we really haven't found the right niche of businesses to go out there and treat. Because who am I to say when the time is and who that is?
yeah, and also like nowadays, like something I've had an issue with a lot is that I've like been working on is I'm not a perfectionist, but like I like achieving goals quickly. So and not only just that, but like when you achieve one goal, you're already on to the next goal. Okay? Like for me, it's like, okay, we did this. Okay, now it's time to do that. Now it's time to do that. But it's important, to take a second and be like, oh, you know what? Honestly, it's pretty cool. I just did that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like
Look down at the
that's
steps that
important.
you just climbed.
Yeah, yeah, like, it's like the mountain, right? Like, you get to a certain point, like, obviously, you wanna get to the top, but, like, you can look and be like, "Yo, you know what? Like, not many people can even get here. So, yeah, now I gotta get there, but, like, still, it's pretty cool I'm here." Now, not to say once you're there, get lazy and you're done, right? It's this middle ground of, like, being grateful and understanding what you've done, but still being able to not, get overconfident, not get egotistical, not get cocky, not get anything like that, and then still maintain that drive to your next goal and your next point while still appreciating, kind of what you've been doing.
Right? Like, I feel like this is the burning question, the burning feeling that we all have where you're striving for a destination, but when you get there, you realize that it was all about the journey. I think it's interesting. Like yesterday, we went on a run across this bridge on Key Biscayne, and when you're huffing and you're puffing and you're running uphill, and then you get to look out to your right, you see a massive skyline. That
Yeah.
is how where it's like, okay, I'm running uphill. I get to enjoy the view, ocean to my left, city to my right, huffing and puffing, but I'm doing it. Like this is the pain that is what makes things feel gratifying, which is the juxtaposition, right? It can't be great unless it feels like shit.
Yeah. And I remember in high school, I was learning this and I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, this is such bullshit. Like, I just want to get to the goal. You know what I mean? Like, I just want what I want. And then, like, as you start actually building things that require a long process, like building company or I don't know, losing weight or just like different kind of things that like goals you kind of set up or like, building relationships, just different things, you start to understand that it's like, okay, once you're there, it's like, fuck, I'm here now.
Yeah.
What was actually cool was when I was in deep shit and I was able to get out of it. And you're like, that's what's actually pretty cool. Like when you have the goal, it's like, that's sick, I'm happy, I'm here, whatever you want it to be. But like, I'm telling you, go through some dark shit and things feel way better. And for me, like I grew up, I'm not gonna lie, I grew up like like a not an easy, like an easy life. Like, I went to good school, like things were fine, like, I had good friends, I had like sports, like school, like things were good, like a lot. And so if things are always good, it kind of makes it you don't really like, you really just don't appreciate things, and, like, it's taken me time to mature and understand that and really learn that.
I feel like you have to really put yourself through hardship in those moments. Just think about the average day that goes well. If you don't push yourself into a physical or mental sense, like for me, it's doing a 5 minute plank or it's doing a 45-minute workout that's intense. Because if I don't do that, then you're like, you get to the end of the day, you're like, did I do anything? And you got to be able to kind of have this dip of being able to pushing yourself through that physical or mental struggle. Doing it through business, it's almost numbing through the day to day that you're going to get this done. But it's hard because now sure, let's say you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, but you didn't never try for anything or you never took any risks. Where's that going to get you in relation to where you started? Probably here, right? How is this any
Yeah,
fun? The fun part
yeah,
is I don't care where you are on the scale. It's here, making sure that you can go from point A to point B and climbing that mountain, getting to the top. Because if you get dropped on the top of a mountain, you know what happens? You die. You don't just
yeah.
magically appear up there. Your body can't take it unless you go through the struggle.
Yeah, no, I say it. It's good to get rocked. And also, like, it's good to get rocked because then you start becoming more aware of like when you have issues and what you need to get better at. Like, I had an issue like answering text messages and stuff just because, there's just like a lot, like, I just deal with a lot, it's like there's a lot going on. So I was really bad. I think I have like on my computer like 3,500 messages,
Wow, that's
and
horrible.
it's horrible. It's horrible. So what I did like 2, 3 months ago, because I learned that like if you want to be successful, a really key skill is being able to, effectively communicate just on the spot. You're not thinking about what you have to say, like think about what you have to say, but you're not like dealing with what you have to say. Like you get something, okay, I'm gonna answer. What do I say? So I turn on my read receipts, right? And now I think you see, I always have my read receipts on every single message I see, and I make sure I open it and I answer right away because it's like, okay, I opened it, they see I opened it, I need to answer now. And so just like little things like that, like, it just has taught me that, like, if I wasn't, kind of, trying to, like, get better and trying to, like, work and build and grow, I wouldn't have made that change, but, like, I don't know, I try to, like, make changes whenever I see an issue, and, like, I realized, like, my answering was just a problem, and so I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, let me just work on this. Let me fix this. Let me just turn this on and see how it does." So I got better at it.
Yeah. You are
Yeah,
definitely better at it.
I
Speaking
appreciate that.
speaking of at it, we're wrapping up here, and I want to ask you about how you get at it on the daily. I'm curious what your routine is like now that you're more than halfway done with law school. What do you got to do that makes you different from the rest? To where from day one to day 365 of the year, you know that these wins pile up. How do you get at it?
Yeah. Um, I think it's important, like, a pre-routine, so it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I like to get up 6 in the morning, play basketball. We have this group chat, I'm really grateful for it. I don't even know any of the guys. I, like, got invited one time, and then, like, it's led to more relationships and whatever, and then it's like, that's a great way to start your day, and then, sauna, cold plunge, and then by 9 a.m., just get to it. And then, like, Tuesday, Thursday, I go to school, try to exercise in other facets. And then the weekend, I like to enjoy. I like to have a good time, and I put myself through like times of like not having a good time for a while or like, locking myself in. I don't think that works. I think it's important that like, because as you kind of like go out and like enjoy, you also like grow more and understand more. So I'm not saying like go out every night or anything like that, but I'm just like, if I'm just locking myself in my closet every day, unless I'm a master coder, you know, it's not gonna get me anywhere. I really don't think so.
No, it
Because like,
won't.
yeah, just as much like building your business and like, the hard skills and things like that, like you need to understand how to work with people and grow with people and understand people. And like going out, like you meet more people, you grow. And so how I get at it, dude, I think it's important, just like every day, work out, pray, work, and just enjoy. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. Just like,
Repeat.
yeah,
Preach.
yeah. Just like, maintain consistency. And like sometimes, you'll get sick. You won't do things for a while. Like, hey, you rest for a couple of days.
Some
That
days you
happens.
get locked in and you just do
Yeah.
3x the work that you would have done.
Yeah, that happens. Just like let it take its course. Do what you need to do. Like just work, just put what you have to do into it. And yeah, like a funny thing I like to see, those guys on TikTok and stuff that are always like, what's your keys to success? What's your this to success, right? Like John Mayer gave a really good answer. He's like, dude, I can't tell you. Like what worked for me might not work for you. I might tell you to work your ass off 20 hours a day, sleep 4 hours a day and get back to it. That might screw you. At the same time, it might be better to work, a couple hours a day and take care of yourself. Like I think it's just like you just gotta find what works and just hammer it. And so once you just find what works for you, just like kind of just go all in. And so I'm kind of just like I found what works, I found a routine, and yeah, I've just been going at it. It's been exciting.
Love it. All right, last question, Jordan or LeBron?
Kobe,
Fair enough.
Kobe. I'm taking Kobe over all of them.
Yeah, look, that's fine. I'm a Jordan guy, but the Mamba mentality, that's just like they're like relatives in that sense.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Kobe is just the evolution of Jordan. I never watched Jordan. I think LeBron. I think LeBron. I have issues with LeBron, but I think career wise,
Good.
it's one of the greatest careers ever. Like from high school all the way to
Sure.
now. But like come on, 4 championships. And like
You can't be
easily
doing that.
watched.
Can't be doing
Like,
that.
come on. I think
Ugly.
Kobe. I'm taking Kobe.
Good answer. All right, Doron,
Appreciate
this was amazing. We jumped straight into it. Didn't even get to ask you the icebreaker because you broke the ice right away. You were a treat to get on. I'm really happy that you were able to also have a sweet backdrop that looks like a green screen. You have the
Thanks.
best eyebrows that we have on the podcast, thus far. Now beating myself, but this was awesome. I really enjoyed this. It was great catching up with you, and I'm really rooting for RECO.
Thank you, man. I'm rooting for Addit. I genuinely appreciate you having me on this. This was a good time. I'm gonna tell Carmen that you've been added to the list of. I don't even notice it, honestly. I just go to run routine. I don't even think about my eyebrows, and people always tell me I have the best eyebrows. So I'm gonna let her know. Yeah, I appreciate that. But honestly, this was a really good time, and
Yeah.
thanks for having me. And
course.
it's exciting. I'm excited to watch you guys grow, watch the continued success, and kind of just like we're both young and like watch us kind of both become successful.
Already are.
Yeah.
All right, Doron. Thanks, brother.
All right, Drew. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Peace.